Hi students, now in this video lecture we will go through the quantitative relationship between pressure, right, and the quantity of the gas dissolved in solution, right. So in the previous lecture we have studied that when pressure is increased, the solubility of gas in liquid will increase, right. Now Sir Henry studied this relationship between the pressure of between the pressure applied and the amount of gas dissolved quantitatively, right. So Henry's law is a quantitative relationship between the pressure and the amount of gas dissolved, right. So we know one thing, that when gas is passed under pressure, right, into a solution, the gas molecules, right, get attracted by the liquid molecules that are on the surface of the liquid, right, and due to which the gas molecules dissolves in the liquid. And this dissolution of gas in liquid is a reversible process. By reversible we mean that like gas when passed through liquid under pressure, right, will form solution. This solution is a solution of gas in this liquid, and this is a reversible process. By reversible we mean that the gas that is dissolved in the liquid has a tendency to move back into the gaseous state, right. It will leave the water solution and enter into the gaseous state. So slowly, after some time, there is an equilibrium that would be established, right. By equilibrium we mean that the amount of gas dissolved in liquid would be equal to the amount of gas that is leaving the solution, entering into gaseous phase, right. So this is the equilibrium that gets established, right, and we say that the dissolution process of gas in a liquid is a reversible process. Now let's just quickly understand what we are doing here. Since we know that when we increase pressure, the solubility of gas in a liquid will increase, right. This is simple. Now let's understand this quantitatively as studied by Sir Henry. So in this first case, there is the green dots that you see represents gas molecules above the liquid surface, right. So here the pressure is P, right, pressure is P, and let's take the volume of gas. The volume of gas above liquid is Vg, or let's take it as VL, volume of gas above liquid, VLG, right. Similarly, now since here the pressure is P, let's double the pressure. When you double the pressure, this will come down as here. So the volume will, you see here volume is V, here volume will decrease, right. So here we have, when pressure is increased, when we double the pressure, volume will, let's say it as VLG2, this is VLG1, volume is decreased. So now when volume is decreased, there are more number of gaseous molecules in less volume. More gaseous molecules are contained in less volume, that is, the number of gaseous molecules increased per unit volume. So in this case gaseous molecules increased per unit volume, right. Gaseous molecules increased, and since we know this is a reversible process, right. Now if we apply Le-Chatelier's principle to this system, right, as per Le-Chatelier's principle, when you increase the pressure, right? If you increase the pressure on this system, the equilibrium, right? This system is in equilibrium as of now, right? Now the equilibrium will shift in a direction so as to decrease these gaseous molecules, right? I'll repeat, when you increase the pressure, as per Le-Chatelier's principle, this equilibrium will shift in a direction so as to decrease the number of gaseous molecules above liquid surface, right? So how will the number of gas molecules above the liquid surface will decrease? There is a way that more of the gas molecules will enter the solution, right? If more of the gas molecules will enter the solution, we say that the solubility, that more gas molecules are dissolving in solvent, which means that the solubility of gas increased, right, on increasing the pressure, right? So now let's say m is the mass of gas, right, dissolved mass. So now the amount of gas dissolved, right, or mass of gas dissolved is directly proportional to pressure. Why? Because we have increased the pressure, which resulted into more gas molecules inside the liquid, right? So mass of the gas dissolved is directly proportional to pressure P applied, right? And simple mathematics, if we remove this proportionality sign, we will put a constant K and P, right? So let's take it as equation 1, where K is proportionality constant whose value depends on the nature of the gas and the solvent, right? So this is what? This is the mass of gas dissolved, right? And the mass of gas dissolved in the liquid, we can also call it as solubility of the gas, right? So we can also call it as, this is mass of the gas dissolved, right, which is also known as solubility of gas, right? So we can say that solubility of gas is directly proportional to pressure, right, temperature remaining constant, right? So we describe this relation as the solubility of a gas, the solubility or the mass of gas dissolved in a liquid at constant temperature is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas above the liquid surface, right? So just remember this till here, that we have proved this quantitatively, that the mass or the solubility of gas is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas above the liquid surface, right? Now mass of the gas dissolved per unit volume, what is this? If you just go back, we have studied this, that the mass of the gas dissolved per unit volume is mole fraction of the gas, right? This is mass of the gas dissolved, mass of gas dissolved per unit volume is nothing but mole fraction of gas, right, which is represented by X, right? So this is the mole fraction of the gas in solution, right? So if we replace this mole fraction of gas, we can replace this solubility or mass per unit volume with mole fraction of the gas as per this, right, which is K, and PA is the partial pressure of the gas above the liquid surface, right? And this is KH, we'll represent it as KH, right? So this is equation number 2, right? Just remember this, that mass per unit volume is nothing but mole fraction of gas in solution, right? So we'll replace mass with mole fraction of the gas in solution and we get this relationship, right? So let's just rearrange this equation. We are doing simple mathematics. When we rearrange this equation, XA, we'll just bring this KH down. KH is Henry's constant, which depends on the nature of the gas and the solvent, right? So if we bring this Henry's constant here, right, it will become like this. Or we'll not call it Henry's constant now. Let's just call it as K, right? So if we bring this constant K, which depends on the nature of the gas and the solvent, it would be PA. This is the partial pressure of the gas above the liquid surface. So now what we do is we'll write K as KH. So this equation will become KH is equals to PA. Right, this is equation number 3rd. So XA, right, dot KH is Henry's constant, which depend on the nature of the gas and the solvent, and this is partial pressure of the gas above the liquid surface. So this is the formula that is derived, right? This is a relationship between pressure applied and the mole fraction of the gas that is in solution. This is mole fraction of the gas in solution, which is nothing but solubility, right? So we know that mole fraction of the gas is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas above solution. More is the partial pressure, right? Look, understand this. More is the partial pressure, right, above liquid. So more gas will dissolve inside the liquid, right? More gas is dissolving means mole fraction of the gas in solution is increasing, right? So this is what this relationship is telling us, that XA is directly proportional to PA, that is mole fraction of the gas. This is in, remember this XA is in solution. This is mole fraction of gas in solution, which is directly related to partial pressure of gas above the liquid surface, right? So we define it as that the mole fraction, that the partial pressure of a gas in vapor phase is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in the solution. This is the partial pressure of the gas above liquid, that is partial pressure of the gas in vapor phase, right, is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in solution, right? So more is the partial pressure. That's what we have studied before this lecture, and based on that's what the concept of the solubility of gas in liquid. This is nothing but a mathematical relation that we have derived using the concept that we have already studied. So partial pressure of the gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the gas in solution, right? So more is the partial pressure of the gas, that is more is the pressure, more is the amount of gas dissolved, more is the mole fraction of the gas in solution, right? So if we increase this, this will increase. This is what the Henry's law states, and this is what we know, that the effect of pressure on the solubility of gas in liquid, right? And this KH, the value of this KH, if we write it like this XA, if we write it like this, PA, we can write it like KH, right? So this KH, which is Henry's constant, that depends on the nature of the solute and the solvent, nature of the gas and the solvent. Here the solute is gas, right? So KH is inversely related to XA. XA is the mole fraction of gas in solution. So if KH will increase, right, if KH will increase, the mole fraction, that is the solubility, this mole fraction of gas in solution will decrease, right? So more is the value of KH, less is XA, that is solubility of gas in liquid will decrease with increasing value of KH, right? And this KH increases with rise in temperature, right? And since we know that when temperature is increased, the solubility of gas in liquid will decrease, right? I'll just write it down. You can just, this is important, try to understand this clearly. We say that more is KH, more is the value of Henry's constant Kh, less is Xa, right, which is solubility of gas in liquid. That is, solubility decreases with increasing value of Kh, right? And Kh, since Kh is increasing, solubility is decreasing, right? So Kh increases with rise in temperature, right? So we know that when temperature increases, temperature is increasing, Kh is also increasing, right? So we know that at higher temperature, solubility of gases in liquid decreases, right? This is what it tells, right? So this is important. Now, if we draw, there's a graph. If we draw a graph between Xa and Pa, right, we know that Xa and Pa, Xa is the solubility of gas in liquid and Pa is pressure applied. More is pressure applied, more is the solubility, right? So if we draw a graph like this, on the x-axis we take mole fraction, and on the y-axis we take pressure of the gas applied, right? We say that more is the pressure, more is the Xa, right? As this will increase, this will also increase. So we get a straight line like this, right? Which this graph shows that the solubility of gas in a liquid increases with increasing pressure, right? So now we have made the graph also, this, which again shows that the solubility of gas increases with rise in temperature, right? So this is important. And now there are some limitations of Henry's law. Henry gave quantitative relationship, this we have done. Limitations are that gas that we are dissolving, that gas that is getting dissolved in the liquid should not chemically react with the liquid or the solvent, right, and undergo dissociation or association. For example, gases like HCl and ammonia, gases like HCl and ammonia does not follow Henry's law, because ammonia, we know, when dissolves in water forms ammonium hydroxide, right, which will again dissociate to give ammonium ion and hydroxyl ion. This gas is dissociating finally in solution. Similarly, HCl, when added to water, it will form hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion. Hydrogen ion and chloride ion, right? So this gas on dissolving also dissociating to give ions. So this gas is undergoing dissociation, right? So this is a limitation of Henry's law. And gas should behave like an ideal gas. Ideal gas means pressure should be high and temperature should be low, right? Now there are certain important application of Henry's law, which is we know it's a very common example, production, this carbonated beverages, the soft drinks, because since now just look at from the point of